Good evening, and thank you everyone for joining me for another episode of The Conversation. As always, I'm your host for the evening, Roger A. Franco. Tonight's topic of discussion for this episode of The Conversation has to do with healthy lifestyle, wellness, the importance of having a healthy lifestyle, particularly within our communities. Again, this is an opportunity to provide some information and to provide some insight into healthy living and a healthy lifestyle. So, as always, I always have the subject matter experts here as guests on The Conversation to join the discussion with me. And tonight's guest is a certified chef. He is also a member of the Nation of Gods and Earths, as well as a practicing vegan. So we're going to talk to him about healthy eating, healthy living, the vegan lifestyle, being a chef, and, what to take into account when preparing meals and all that good stuff. So, sitting to my right here, we have the God Born True. Thank you, sir, for being with me tonight.
There, brother.
Thank you for being here.
Yes,
so why don't you tell the people a little bit about, your background and your history as a chef? When did you first become, licensed or certified? Where did you go to culinary school? All that good stuff.
Peace. Good evening. How we doing? My name is Born True God Law. Basically, growing up, under a family, I'm the baby of 10, so growing up, my mother and father, they always cooked from scratch for us. And watching my father, I gravitated towards wanting to cook from scratch. And by doing that, I learned. And then eventually, as I got older, I was already prepared. And then I entered the chef field through recommendations from other people. I went to culinary school in the 80s on Rector Street and Wall Street area, and I became a chef. And throughout that, I learned by studying and becoming a part of the Nation of Gods and Earths. It was like a part of our civil duty to learn about ingredients, because back then, learning knowledge itself, you always had to know about what was pork products, what was not pork products. So that was the beginning phase for us. So I decided myself to further enhance, further learn. And by cooking, it taught me about the ins and outs of food. So basically what I did was grow a relationship with food, understanding what your intake should be. And throughout that, I just further enhanced myself, and then I was a pescatarian. I went, I wasn't doing the pork and all that at an early age, like in the early 80s. I went through the beef phase, stopped that. And by around 87, 88, I just dismantle all of that. And I was a pescatarian. Then I had to learn about that phase there.
So explain for people out there who don't know what a pescatarian is.
Pescatarian would be a person that just consumes fish, because when you transition, it's always going to be said, stop the pork and beef first. And then they'll tell you fish and chicken. But then now that's another degree that you got to study upon, because you got to learn about the chickens, you got to learn about the fish, what their intake is prior to you devouring them and consuming them. So I was a pescatarian, and then after that, I had a brother by the name Chris Landry, shout him out, my brother that used to be working with us, and he kept feeding me about the veganism. This was 20 years ago. Chris Landry kept, he used to work with us at Franchise Records, born this, and that, so I took upon myself to study. And that's what made me say, you know what, you have to have compassion and know about the laws of nature and understand what your intake is for you to live a substantial life in society.
So, let's sort of clear up some confusion, because, I've heard certain folks talk about, being vegan. So is being vegan considered a diet, or is it more so a lifestyle?
I just went through, it's funny you said that. I just went through that a few months ago, and I had to explain to people, diet equals temporarily, which means that at some given point, you're going to say, well, I can go back to this, which they classified as a cheat meal. So veganism, living a plant-based lifestyle, is a lifestyle because you're transitioning to something different that is beneficial for your body. That's why people got to understand word semantics. When they say diet is something that is temporary. It's not permanent. Lifestyle is permanent. So it's the word semantics.
Okay.
And once you learn and grow and understand, then you will know how it feels.
And how long have you been vegan for?
Now, fully, the way I've been, I'm reaching the 20-year mark right now.
20 years as a vegan.
I'm reaching the 20-year mark right now because, like I said, I was still a pescatarian, and then I just fully transformed prior to buying my home in Virginia in 2010. By 2012, I was like, okay, this is not working, you know, and I was like, okay, this is what I got to switch over to. And I just study every day. Once you study every day, you learn. And then that's what made me say, I'm going to go full blast because it makes you feel different. You learn about the animals, what the animals do, and what they go through, what they suffer from. So you know and understand that plants is the only thing that absorb enzymes. So when you're eating plants, you're getting pure enzymes. And what made me transform, I'm not going to lie to you, is when I studied, because I love Animal Planet. The 5 strongest animals don't eat no meat. So when I saw that, and I saw that a gorilla literally can bench press over 500 pounds and the gorilla eats grass, I knew that it was something wrong. So I said to myself, you know what? This is not right for me. And real quick, learning from studying from a chef perspective, and a doctor will tell you this, it takes the human body 72 hours to digest meat, 48 hours to digest poetry. So if you ate and consumed meat for 20, 30 years straight and never did a fast.
All that is backed up in your colon.
Right. So that's where the problem comes in at, because we know the same thing with the oils. We know certain oils is just refined oils. They're not pure oils that clogs your arteries. The vegetable oil, the short, and then the canola and all that. So you have to learn to study. Your first number one thing you should do in the world is have a relationship with food, because this is what keeps you alive. The food is what draws you into getting up in the morning. To help you be able to get to where you want to get to, that job or whatever your duty is for that day. Because without that, you don't move unless you disciplined enough to know how to fast, which is a whole nother topic. You already know
we'll
that.
get into that.
Right, you already know that. That's a whole nother topic.
And a little later. But I've heard you, on that note, I've heard you make the comment before that, you treat your body like a garden and not a graveyard. So explain, what's the concept behind that?
The concept behind that is because, once again, plants is the only thing that absorb enzymes which come from the sky. So when you're eating meat, you're getting processed enzymes. So when you're eating plants, you're getting fresh enzymes. So that's why I said your body is a garden. Your body wasn't designed to consume that of which doesn't help you. We have natural food and plants that cure you and help you. This is our medicine. That's why I said your body is a garden, not a graveyard, because when you consume fast food, bad foods, and all that, it makes you sluggish. It controls how you operate, because food is what? Your fuel. Food is what? Your nutrient. So food is what? Thy medicine. That's why I say what I say to people. If you understand that, when I have a headache, I go to my refrigerator, eat cherries, lay down. So that's why I say what I say to people. Food is thy medicine. You can't take something from something that someone made, a man-made chemical, and think that's going to cure you. That doesn't make sense. This is why I tell people that.
So just pull the mic in a little so the people can hear the
pardon me.
interesting information that you're giving them right there. So when you were making the transition to being vegan, what were some of the more challenging things that you had to deal with?
My biggest problem was dairy.
Okay.
But it's been 26 years now. Why? From talking with my father one night at my mother and father, my parents' house, and he was breaking it down to me about how if you see an egg and it's round, that's man-made. When a chicken hatches an egg, it's oval. And one egg is 325, cholesterol. Your cholesterol level is 325. So if you consume 2 eggs, and then the average person do eggs with butter, butter has salt in it. So now when you make that meal, you already increase and already raise your blood pressure, your sugar count, all that. Your cholesterol count been raised. So just from talking to my father, because I used to always build with elders, I love the elders. I walked out of my parents' house 26 years ago and said, I don't want it no more. I used to do egg whites. And I said, I don't want it no more.
So egg white's not even good for you?
Because the cholesterol level, once again. It's not good, first of all, because it's from a chicken, so actually it's an unborn. It's a fetus that's unborn. So it's not good for you on that note. From the workout perspective, they say egg whites is protein, da, 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 da. But then when you look at it and go to the demographics and dig deep, people don't dig deep into it and understand the negative that it causes. Then you'll understand that we have egg replacements. You feel me? Such as flax seeds. You know, we have egg replacements where you don't need that. And you still get your protein, your calcium, you know, all that.
Right. So that's a good point you bring up, because a lot of people, you know, think just by cutting out red meat and pork that, you know, that's healthy, but still continue on with the poultry and the fish and all that good stuff, and, you know, think it's not as detrimental as eating red meat.
Explain something to you, not to get off the topic. You should know that if you study, chickens consume their own feces. Let's start there. Okay, so when you say chicken and fish, like I said, fish open their mouth. So they sucking in. Nobody's going to the ocean and feeding them. So no matter if a fish, you can fillet it, cut the head off, do all that. Fish is like a sponge. So that means if it's absorbed water, it absorbs germs, bacteria. Same thing with a lobster. Once a lobster is killed, it grows bacteria. So the longer it sits, the more bacteria grows. So people don't understand that. That's what they don't understand. So that's the negative effects of the body. This is why I said when you go back to the natural state, you don't have no negative effects. When you're dealing with fresh plants, you know, we have vegan meals that's, you know, meatless and things that nature that consider soy and all that. So there's a transitional phase that you'll go through, but most of the part is studying it. Once you study it, then you'll understand it. And it's great to take the time out to do that because you want to be healthy. You want to know what your intake is. You don't want to be just devouring something and don't know the side effects, and then you wondering what happened. That's the problem that we need to understand. People need to read, understand the ingredients. You might get a product that says organic on the front, but on the back it tells you canola oil or made in a facility that processes milk and eggs. So that's what the problem we have in today, where people don't understand the difference. It's the ingredients. Not only that, because it don't say animal products, that don't mean it's kosher. Red number 40, red dye number 40, that's no good. Yellow number 5, none of that's no good for you. High fructose corn syrup is sugar. 95% of what you consume that's processed or in a box has sugar in it, sodium count. So as a nation of people, as black folks, we need to read and understand what it is that our intake is before we do that. You know, don't get accustomed to outside eateries. You know, you want to learn and understand your kitchen. That should be a basic understanding. My daughter's 13, never been vaccinated.
Really?
In a school in Virginia, number 30 out of the first 100 schools. I don't have a problem. I don't have no problem. She was birthed in this world on organic. Bright Beginners milk, organic. Okay? My son 18, so I don't have no issues. You have to teach. You know, when you teach and learn yourself, then you teach people. We have to understand that you want to take care of your your physical being. It's not the outside, it's the inside that was what counts. So as long as your colon is clean, you don't have to go to the doctor and say, I need a colon cleanse. We know that naturally you can cleanse your colon. You can take care of yourself, because a lot of brothers is facing prostate cancer and don't understand what it is because they're afraid to go. You go to the doctor because they have machines that we're not financially able to purchase ourselves. Once you go to them and they tell you what the problem is, when you walk out that doctor's office, now you have to learn how to become your own doctor. Learn how to treat yourself. Don't deal with a man-made chemical that you don't even know what it is, because your doctor say, we're going to try you on this. How does that work? You feel what I'm saying? Like, how does that work?
That's a good
so you
point,
have to learn. And we have gardens. We have to learn that this food was here for us for a purpose. Like I said, pandas, what they eat. Bamboo. Giraffes, what they eat. You understand what I'm saying? So if the animals are smart enough to know, how you not smart enough to know? That's why I post that when I say learn how to live according to the laws of nature.
And for our people, I think particularly for Black and Latino people, you know, the type of food that we consume, you know, again, I saw one of your posts about soul food. And it's like, you know, 50 years of eating, you know, deep fried chicken and fish and, you know, mac and cheese and, you know, sweet potato and all of that, you know, that has a negative impact on you 50 years later.
And you know what? Yams is very good for you. It's what you add to it that makes it negative.
Right.
And people get mad at me. Like you said, I just put that post up again around this time of the year because this is where people go wrong at. Even if you transitioning in the beginning phases, this time of the year and May, which kicks off the summer, is the baddest time, the worst time, because now if you're not disciplined, not to get off the topic, but the 3 most powerful weapons, discipline, determination, dedication. Once you master those 3, there's no stepping stones in front of you, no stumbling blocks, because no means no. Right. And like you said, they've taken soul food and named it soul food, which is scraps off the table from the slave master, and you started glorifying it. If they giving you scraps, how is that soul food? Right. You understand where I'm coming from? Right. But you took it that way because you didn't do the duty to learn and understand. So now that we learn and understand that, you don't continue to do that. That's why I put that other post up. Is it traditional or do you deal with truth? Because a lot of people say, well, I was raised on that. That don't mean nothing. Right. We always raised on it. Right. But know better, do better. Right. You understand where I'm coming from? Right. You can take that, and I have Thanksgiving, every Thanksgiving. I don't celebrate it, but I have Thanksgiving meals, couscous, cranberry, all that. You can always eat and enjoy yourself without having to deal with the slaughtering of innocent animals. Because we know what they go through, the torturing and all that. Not only that, your body wasn't designed for that. Your body was designed, like I said, to be what? A garden, so that you can be strong. This will build you. Yo, we could be here all day. I love you, brother, because we can go on the Iris Seamoss topic.
Well, that's, definitely that's why I wanted to sit down and have the conversation with you, because I think, the food that we consume, and, it's like a drug for some people.
Well, it is a drug. It's an addiction. It's a bad addiction, because you post your chest out and you say, I've been recovered. I've been clean for 30, 40 years. You still have an addiction because you're addicted to this food.
And, a lot of people use, food to deal with their problems as comfort food. That's where, all the soul food stuff kind of comes in.
You know where it comes from? It comes from not wanting to take time out to understand that of what you're consuming once again. When you have a child, you make sure, if you don't breastfeed, you say, I got to make sure. But some people don't. They just do the formula or whatever because they're indoctrined. But you want to know that. I try to explain to people the simplest way I can. Like I tell women, when you have a child, what you do? You push them in the stroller until they can walk. When they're 40 years old, they shouldn't be pushing you in the wheelchair. So it's about studying. When you understand the essence of food, this is what goes in you. This will fuels you. You understand where I'm coming from? If you sick, this will fuels you. And no tissues in the lower part of my spine, bone on bone. My lumbar disc 3, 4, 5 is gone. I push 10 plates leg press in the gym. I don't do Western medication. The earth take care of me. You understand where I'm coming from? This is what I'm telling you.
Right.
I still deal with nerve pain. I was in a car accident 4 years ago. But you know what? My ginger tea, my turmeric, star anise, I make my tea. I use agave. I don't use honey because the torturing that they do to bees just to make the honey, I don't appreciate. Agave is a plant that's raw out of the ground. Sugar cane sticks. So I deal with that and I study like the Indians, cumin and curry. America waited 50 years to tell you that was the #1 medicine. So people don't understand that. Listen and pay attention. Especially if you know the kitchen. That should be a #1 relationship with what your intake is, which is food. Nothing else come before that.
So, if someone wants to make the transition to being vegan and living a vegan lifestyle, what are the first steps that they need to take? Because,
the first steps they should do is a fast. A lot of people didn't understand fasting because they took it as a concept from only Muslims and Islam. They don't understand that Dick Gregory told us that 40, 50 years ago. He was the first one that did a 30-day fast. When you fast, it cleans your body. Women have an upper hand because they deal with a menstrual cycle, which cleanses them. So they also fast, but we don't have an upper hand. So you have to purely fast. When you fast, you cleanse yourself. You do a 7-day juice fast. The last big fast I did, it was 3 years ago. I did 64 days.
So
the whole month of January, I did hot water.
So for that whole month, you did nothing but intake of hot water.
Yes, and then February I started with the oats and all that. I started doing oatmeal early in the morning. I did a 64-day fast, and it's good for you because it cleans your body. A fast helps you. I still fast now. I'm to the point where I grow every day. That's why I study. You know, and now I'm down to 2 meals a day.
So, but this is the thing that always I have questions about. So as you had mentioned earlier, food is your fuel.
It's diet medicine, yeah.
So how can you go
fasting? Because it's discipline. Your body tell you when you're hungry, it tell you when you're full. So if you consume a meal 4:30, 3:30 in the morning, I get up every day. I read. I still read the dictionary till today. I study. I might eat 3 medjool dates. That's gonna take care of me. You see what I'm saying?
For how long? For the entire day?
To about 12. And then that's what Muslims do. When they fast, they eat dates. Because they eat 4:30 in the morning before the sun come up. Then they eat 8:30 after the sun go down. So you can eat medjool dates, which is very good for you. That's why I posted on my page. You can eat 3 medjool dates, not too many, because it'll raise your sugar, it'll spike your sugar. Eat 3 of them. And it'll have you literally feeling like you had a meal by 11:30. Because between 7 and 11, your body look to break down something. So you should always consume fruits. You wake up in the morning, key lime lemons. When you do key lime, they have seeds in it. So you do key lime with warm water. That's very good for your body. I do that every morning. And then from 7-11, then you might do a meal after that, and then you'll eat a meal before the sun comes down. Because you don't want to eat a meal at nighttime if you're not going to wells. Because now you ate a meal, you're sluggish. So now if you lay down at night, when you lay down to sleep, that means your whole body's supposed to rest. So if you get them 3 or 4 times going to the bathroom, that means your kidney not resting. So you have to shut down. At a certain time of the day is over. After I eat my last meal, if I'm hungry during the evening, I eat fruits. Fruits consume water, like cucumbers, watermelon with seeds, anything with seeds. Everything comes from seeds. If it's seedless, it's GMO, it's man-made. We know that. Everything comes from seeds. So you consume fruits. We have fruits that have sugar. That's the natural, purest sugar. So you eat fruits. Fruits is good for you. You eat a kiwi before you go to bed, you sleep like a baby. I guarantee you that.
I hear you, the whole fasting thing, though.
Fasting is good for you.
No, I feel you.
Because you cleanse your system.
Yeah. I guess for me, I just need to get on the discipline.
That's all it is.
Yeah.
It's this, man, and you know, we real. I keep it real. I'm not cutting the chase. You know how we do. We drink. The people see me on my videos in clubs and all that. Alcohol is 8 hours. Okay? So if I go out tonight and drink, the next 3 days, I'm not doing nothing. I'm going to flush it out. You understand where I'm coming from? It's called discipline. The same way you structure yourself to get up every day and go to work, structure yourself to say, I'm going to get up every day and make sure I eat properly. Because that's what comes first. Because if you're sick, you can't make it to work, they're not going to put a cover over your chair.
Right.
And I mean, get in that drawer and call that sub. Call that substitute, see if they're ready to work 10.
Right.
So you come first. That's what I mean by garden over graveyard. That's what I mean by loyalty. And not to get off the topic, when people say, oh, I'm 100% loyal. If you're not loyal to yourself, how can you administer loyalty to anybody else?
Right.
It's not hard. Transitioning it's a process, but it's not hard because when you start looking at the main picture and say, I want to be here, you know what I'm saying? I want to be alive. Right. You don't want to be dependent on Western medication because it has side effects. When you watch a commercial, what happens? The first 6 seconds tell you to take the medicine. The next 6 seconds tell you the side effects.
You know what I'm saying? Your eyes will fall out. You may have depression. You know what I'm saying? And
I drink lemon ginger in the morning. I make lemon with ginger powder and put a little agave. That's what I drink. And that's after I've had my warm lime and warm water. That's 3:30 in the morning every day. So that's what's good for you. You feel me? You don't need that. You got headaches, cramp, like you said, the colon, the cramping, and the bloating and all that. That's because it's sitting in you. Not to get off the topic. Cheese, that's why I told you dairy. Cheese is made with water. It comes into a ball. Now you shave it. Dough is made with water. So you go to a pizza shop, give me extra slice, extra cheese. You eat that. From American perspective, what you do, give me a lemonade, yo, give me something cold. When you drink that, what you think happens? The cheese go back into a ball. So now you say, yo, nigga, I'm full, yo. No, it's sitting there. So when does it break down? I'm gonna ask you a question. If I bought a 2019 BM today, I ain't gonna put no antifreeze. I'm gonna put regular gas. Man, how long I'm gonna drive it?
Not very long.
So if metal breaks down, metal stronger than you got 7 layers of skin. Mm-hmm. What happens if you've been eating for 30 years the same thing?
Right.
If you've been eating 30 years the same thing, what happens? Mm-hmm. That's what I'm trying to explain to people. I'm not forcing it upon you. I'm not telling you, I'm not knocking you, but I'm explaining to you that you got to understand you first. Mm-hmm. When you understand these little intricacies and these little things that I'm explaining, then you will see it from a bigger perspective and understand that I don't want to feel this way no more. You understand where I'm coming from?
Right.
People know me. They know I ran the industry. I did all that. Everything I'm telling people I went through, that's why I'm telling them to them. Mm-hmm. I'm not saying nothing that I heard from somebody. You know, I went through that. Right. So I'm explaining to people how the transition makes you feel so much better. Mm-hmm. And this is what we need our people to understand, that take the time out to understand that you want to love yourself in the right perspective. Mm.
On that note, we're going to take a little break and come back with my man Born True and talk about a little bit more veganism, you know, him being a chef, and then, you know, the impact of all of this on our communities. Because, you know, this is not all being done by mistake. It's not by chance. You know, it's targeted towards a certain demographic in our community. So we're going to come back and talk a little bit about that. Stay tuned with us.
Hormones.
The conversation. Yes, everyone. We are back. The conversation. I'm here with the God Born True, discussing vegan lifestyle, healthy living, health and wellness. You know, as I've always mentioned on previous shows, you know, one of the things that I want to address and you know, help our communities understand is you don't want to be old, broke, and sick. So we are addressing the getting older and sick part with the God right here,
and not getting old and never knowing, understanding what your body was capable of doing.
Exactly. That's something. I'm glad you mentioned that, because you don't want to end up 75 and not have lived to the full potential of your life. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, again, addressing misconceptions about, you know, the vegan lifestyle and vegan food. You know, a lot of people feel that, you know, vegan food is bland, it's tasteless, it's, you know, tofu and all that type of stuff. So, you know, from a chef perspective, so you know all the ingredients and nutrients and whatnot, take us through one of your signature dishes, right? And how you sort of jazz it up with the flavor and whatnot.
I'm gonna give you a prime example. What you were saying about how people were saying the tofu and the veganism, and they think it's bland. Mm-hmm. If you look at it, how do people eat the animals they eat? They use seasoning, right? Mm-hmm. So technically, they're using what vegans use to jazz up what they want to use to be able to eat it. Mm-hmm, so that shows you that we wasn't carnivores. Our teeth wasn't designed. Because if you watch Animal Planet, an animal kill another animal, they tear into the flesh. Mm-hmm. So if you're not doing that, that means it wasn't designed for you. I can grab a plant and eat it because it tastes good. Mm-hmm. You can take Brussels sprout. That's why you have raw vegans, you know, which is my next level. You have people that just eat raw foods, plants and all that. So that's what people don't understand about that. They don't understand that it's not bland. Some people, like I said, what you saying, I've heard all that. And it's just that some people don't understand. They was shocked the fact that other ethnic backgrounds gravitated towards it. That's why they use that excuse. Oh, it's bland, this and that. It's not based upon blandness. It's based upon if you're a cook, once again. If you're not a cook, then your studying might be a little longer. But if you say you're a person that cook, then you know and understand how to use ingredients. We know that iodine is no good. We use pink Himalayan sea salt. I use peppercorn, like I said about the cumin and turmeric. We use curry. All this is good for you. When you use these things here, fresh basil, thyme, all that. I buy cilantro from the farm. I shop at Union Square, the farmer's market. Most of the farmers is from PA, so I know what's in season. That's how I buy food, when it's in season. So if the farmers tell me, I call the Green Market, and she tell me. So if she tell me what's in season, and then when she say it's not in season, if it's in the supermarket, what that tells you. It's the same thing when you walk in the supermarket. I don't go in them. I do farmers. But you go in the supermarket, what's in the front when you walk in? Produce, right? So after produce, why you going in the aisles? You see? But you have some things that's bagged and boxed, but ingredients should have 4 letters, 4 words rather. If ingredients got 10, 15 words, then something is wrong. And some people read it and don't understand it. Once again, it goes back to what I said. So, just it's the learning process. It's not hard. And then what you were saying about the exercise, that goes with the eating healthy. And we had that problem with the gym. Because the gym put it, that's why Arnold Schwarzenegger got that new thing they got of the documentary. Because a lot of people was under the impression that you work out, sports today, you got to eat 10, 12 steaks. No.
Right.
We have vegans that's bodybuilders. Right. We have vegans that's football players.
Because one of the things, as I was, doing some research, one of the big misconceptions when you're working out, you need to eat meat for protein. And as you said, some of the strongest animals are.
But we got athletes like that. That's why Arnold Schwarzenegger got that little documentary they got out right now, because they have to realize that's not what you need. You got people that's out here, like I said, we got football players strong, not quarterbacks. Sometimes we got defensive linebackers. We got the MMA dude that just said that when he won the fight, he wanted to introduce it to people because it's not about that. That's a misconception that the hospitals, I don't want to get you in trouble, but that's the misconception that they told people. You need red meat for vitamin A. Kale has more vitamin A than red meat. Swiss chard. There's food, when you study it and understand the properties of it, you'll know and understand. Like I tell people, look at me. I don't eat no meat. I curl 165, 180 pounds. I don't do that. It's how you do. Your body tell you when you're hungry, when you're full. Like the gym, same thing with the hospitals. If your blood pressure is up, your sugar's up, you got diabetes, you go to the hospital, they're supposed to bring it down, right? How the hospital have a McDonald's in there? How they giving you a cup of pineapple, whatever, and it has sugar in it? So that's what I mean by you have to be your own doctor. That's the whole concept. The whole concept is you have to become your own doctor and learn and understand how to cherish and deal with your body.
So I'm going to ask you this because I think it's important and I think it illustrates a point, but you don't have to answer it if you don't want to. How old are you?
I'll be 50 in about 150 days.
So the reason why I bring that up, because this gentleman looks very good for his age, and I think all of us as people of color look good for our age. But when you introduce all of the unhealthy food and the unhealthy lifestyle, that makes us look and age. But, here, again, 20 plus years of being vegan, not eating meat and whatnot, I got to say you look good, brother.
You know what the problem is? It goes beyond just the fact of what you're consuming. Once again, like I put that post up, the average female uses 515 different products, which has chemicals in it. Right. On a daily basis. Right. So the problem is, like I use jojoba oil, straight shea nut oil, avocado oil. I use that. That's what I use on my body. I don't do lotions because lotions is not good. Same thing with soap. It has things in aluminum in it and all that. So you have to understand that there's just more than just the food process. There's other things that people don't understand that they have to take time out to study. We have chemicals that hurt you. Makeup clog your pores for women. So your pores is clogged. So when you're putting all that on, And then after 40, 50 years, you wonder why your skin's sagging.
Right.
Because it needs to breathe.
Right.
So it's the same thing with males. You just putting this grease in your hair, using this lotion and this body spray and this deodorant because you think, I don't want all that. Your natural body odor should smell good because what you eat comes out of you. What you consume, if you don't defecate or you don't vomit, where it's going to come out of your pores. So it's going to come out of you. So when you sweat, you shouldn't have an odor. If you do, what is that from?
From everything you consume.
It's from the dead carcass living in your body because you don't detox. Like back in the days when they used to play basketball, you see the white on their face. That was the salt. They didn't understand that was too much sodium intake. But the parents didn't know that. We didn't know that. You see this playing, boy, you man sweaty. But they didn't understand because they didn't have a palate. Their palate was gone from tasting so much different foods. They don't understand that they had a too high sodium intake. It's studying, man. That's why I love to study, because when you do that, it helps you. That should come before anything. I don't care what nobody say. You want to be successful, bless you. It's all good. Your prime duty is priorities over pleasures. First things first, last things last. That's what we must never forget.
Right.
Because when you eat good, you feel good, you look good. I don't go on no scale. You know what my scale is? People. See what you just said? That's what I do. People, you look good. So that tells me I'm doing something right. You feel what I'm saying? That's what people don't understand. So when you have a relationship, once again, with nature, prime example, real quick, look at the trees. It's 33 degrees today. Trees is naked, right? They get naked in the winter. What we do? Pile on clothes. In the summer, what trees do? Put on their clothes. What we do? Get naked. But the human body temperature is what? 98. Right. So what that means, who's living backwards? We are, because we're supposed to study the laws of nature. So we know not to put on so many layers because we know how to maintain our body temperature. If you say you cold in the winter when the heat is on, I'm cold, I'm anemic. No, that's what they told you, man. When you first born, from the time you was born until you about 10, you done took every test in the world. If they didn't detect it now, how 40 years later, I'm bipolar. Can we cuss?
Yeah.
Get the fuck out of here. You understand where I'm coming from? We drunk from garden hose, water pumps, Johnny pumps in different boroughs and shit. Who was sick? You understand where I'm coming from? So it's a psychological thing, the mental. That's where the people have a problem at, because they don't know how to challenge the mental. They don't know how to discipline themselves. Once again, discipline. Discipline carries you a long way. That's the best thing that'll help us as a nation of people. We have over 400 vegan restaurants. We have black-owned businesses. My brother Cross Foster in Brooklyn, we have black-owned vegan businesses that's helping our people. LA Sweets in Harlem. We have businesses that you have to cater to and support these businesses because we helping. Nobody's out here trying to hurt you or trying to compete. We're trying to bring awareness to the people. Because as long as you're healthy and you wise, you can live long. They don't want that. You know that. They don't want, society don't want that. Right. So it's our civil duty. When you know better, do better. That's why I teach every day. Don't pay me. I don't want no pay. My duty is to teach and enhance and help our people because nobody else is going to do it. Right. So we must know and understand that, take away from that. What you was raised on, you have to take away from certain things. Right. You have to take the positive and then get away with the negative. Right. Once again, especially if you say you're a cook. If you're not a cook, then study that. Because you feed your children. Don't say you love your children, but then you giving them chicken nuggets. So you enable them to their gravesite. Right. Your child shouldn't be 10 years old diagnosed with diabetes. Because for 9 years, who fed them? Right. They didn't go to the stove. Right. You understand where I'm coming from?
True indeed. Like again, like I've said before, a lot of people lack the insight and knowledge into this type of thing. And, there's people out there who make 3 meals a day out of fast food. Like, I know people who go to McDonald's for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Yeah.
It's just like you got maybe 80, 70%, maybe 80% people that work that their job consists of what we doing, sitting down. But they got to be to work at 8 or 9. Right. So they get up, If they got to be at work at 9 or 10, they go to that Dunkin' Donuts Frappuccino. Right. One of those is 785 calories. Right. So now you on a train drinking that. You get off, go to work, you're sitting down. Somebody go in the store, you want to give me another one, girl, I'm tired. So it's a sugar rush, like they say.
That's so true.
So that means you drunk that. So before you even know it, your sugar count is sky high. You don't get it. Right. So now by 3 or 4, you're like, oh, I can't wait till the day is over. I hope this job ends, because you don't understand what you just did. Right. Plus it's sat on you. Right. Now you're going to come from work and you're going to say, I'm so tired. Your kids, you're going to be, you better order some food. I ain't cooking anything. So now you see what I'm saying? So you're accumulating this and you're not regulating what you intake. Mm-hmm. One Arizona iced tea, a 20-ounce bottle of Arizona iced tea, that's equivalent to 20 cups of sugar.
And on that note, I just want to say, Arizona iced teas, for anybody who knows, who lived in New York, since I was a little kid, has only been $1. And here, 40 some odd years later, they still only $1. Something's wrong there. I'm just saying. Again, think outside the box. That happened for a reason. But anyway.
Not only that, it's a demographical area. When you look at your areas, they shove these supermarkets in your area. What I told you when we was on our way down here, show me a farm. Right. Show me a cattle ranch. Right. And like I said, you're eating processed enzymes anyway. Mm-hmm. When you're eating it from an animal. Right. You understand where I'm coming from? So that's what people not understanding. And like I said, it's nothing new. It's not that it's a diet. Some people like the keto. I don't want to knock them. But the keto diet is psychological warfare because it still incorporates you consuming flesh. So it's not real. Right. So people don't understand. I had a vegan page on my Facebook page, a vegan page that they blocked me all because they try to post Skittles and Oreos and say that it don't have no animal products, so it's vegan. How was that? I went to the store and actually pulled them up and took a picture of it to show people. Ingredients. It don't have to say pig. If it say high fructose corn syrup, if it says monodiglyceride, do you know what that means? If it say yellow dye number 40, red number, what does that mean? I have a food dictionary. I cook. I've cooked in the IBM, the Pan Am, and the UN building in the 80s. So my duty was to study ingredients. Ingredients is what played a major role. So don't say, I'm vegan, I transformed. A girl did that on my page the other day. Posted a picture. Apple pie, vegan. I said, what's the ingredients? She said, I use it on post. I said, well, we do that when we teach people. You know what she said? Jiffy pie crust, vegetable short. I said, Jiffy is pork. You know what she told me? Prove it. We knew that 30 years ago. Right. 32 years ago. So I pulled it up and showed her. You feel me? I showed her like I showed a lady in the supermarket. She pulled up some sausages in Target. Oh, excuse me, this says organic. I said, ma'am, look at the front. I turned it around. I don't care if it's a chicken frink, turkey frink, whatever. Any sausage, the casing comes from the line of a pig. It tells you when you turn it around and read it. Casing. People don't read.
Even turkey bacon and turkey sausage.
Don't read. That's the problem. So the FDA, the USDA, the AMA, the CDC, they know that. Back in the days, it said lard on it, right? It said shorten. So they said, they're not going to go to college. Fuck them. Let's change the 4-letter word and put a 14-letter word. Because you're going to look at it and you don't see no lard. You say, fuck it ain't pork. Because you don't want to deal with extensive research. Then you wondering why you hurting inside. You drinking soda, which is syrup.
Oh, on the soda tip, I also saw one of your posts where you said Pepsi and Coke are used as pesticides in India, I believe.
Of course they are. There's over 18 countries that have banned GMO. We still have it.
Why is that? Think about that.
Because if I get on that, I don't want to get you in trouble. That's because they don't want you healthy, wealthy, and wise. I try to prevent from saying that earlier.
No, it's true.
This is the issue. You have countries. I did a post the other day with Loma Linda, California. I have fishless tuna fish. That's one of the 5 countries that's plant-based. Loma Linda, California. It's a county. And people don't understand that. You have counties and you have countries that's literally plant-based and vegan. And America don't want that because once you become wise enough and understand and eat healthy, you become strong. You become strong, you're going to start saying no. Right or wrong.
Right.
When you not in tune with yourself, you hesitant. When you strong and you firm, no, fuck out of here.
Yeah.
They don't want.
And see, the thing, too, on that note, and we've all experienced this, just imagine, one of those days where you were extremely hungry and you didn't get to eat, and how that affected the decisions you made, your attitude towards other people, how you just interacted with the environment, and again, to your point, when you're well-fed with healthy food, you start feeling better, you start looking better, and then that translates in how you interact with other people.
Of course, because you discipline.
Right.
When you wake up, and you, like I said, you wake up, key lime, warm water, that's good for your body in the morning. Your body look to digest something. Now you get, the other day I posted, I had red kiwis, sun gold kiwis. You eat fruits in the morning, and your body look to digest that. So now you helping your body out. Because if you notice, if you eat something, half a century on this earth, and I've never been food poisoned. Let's just put it that way. I've been in the music industry. I done ate all over the goddamn world.
Right.
But I used to look, when I was on tour, when we was on a Loud tour, the bus driver one day said, how come they don't wake you up? I said, because they know I don't eat that shit. Next morning, we get off and come back, and I used to have to find a hole in the wall spot. This was 20 years ago. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
Because you have to be disciplined and know when you eat. That's why if you understand that Koreans and they do sauces because that's portion control. You understand? We said that from the penitentiary. Jail plates, you get a big ass plate, all that food. Anything white burn down the sugars. Where does sugar go? Straight to your blood. That's why we know black wild rice, purple, potatoes, things like that. I use shallots because they easier to digest. So people don't understand these things. Understand food, what you consume.
Right.
White rice burned down the sugars. They bleached it because white rice was black. So that comes from another topic, indoctrination period. But that's what I'm trying. People got to understand the colors of food and what roles they play. And that's what they don't understand. Certain foods is for certain reasons, for certain situations. Right. And this is what people have to understand. And once you learn that, trust me, you'll become a better person. You'll feel so much better. And then you teach it because your kids going to do that of what you do.
Right.
So this is what we need. We need to come back to reality and bring yourself and realign yourself back with the laws of nature.
Where can people find information like this? Like, can you give any suggestions as far as books, websites, or anything that
you got?
Come across?
If they go on IG, we both on IG. King B True 372, that's my page. But I share all the other vegan people I deal with. So there's I have holistic doctors. I have so many black people that's vegan. I have Dr. Vegan. My brother Crust Foster, he's on IG. There's so many women that we got that have transformed themselves, even with the workout. We have black vegans. So if the internet helped us. My niece said that to me 5 years ago. Social media was the best thing ever created because social media is to advocate a group of people, society, people for one common cause. So this is our civil duty. When we was growing up, pages ripped, half pages, so we had to struggle. Today is simple for you. Everybody's not telling the truth, but everybody's not fraudulent either.
Right.
You know when a person, because you'll see it on your page. Right. It's your duty to dissect and decipher fiction from fact. And a lot of black people got to understand that, like with the processed soy, we know that they say soy causes estrogen, and that's processed soy, because if that's the case, the whole China will have bulls, male and female.
Right.
And they eat soy every day. Right. So there's different things that go on with the vegan community. Like I said, with the vegan page, told me on Facebook, the lady was like, get somebody off this page here about me. Because I broke it down, told them candies. Just this Halloween, another female on my IG page posts vegan candies. I said, these is not approved. We have aspartame-free gum. Aspartame is in candy. Just like fluoride is in a lot of stuff. Right. So you have to understand that. Don't say because it don't have animal in it that it's kosher. It's not. Right. Because these ingredients will hurt you. It's like oils. Vegetable oil, canola, that clogs your arteries. So we use grapeseed oil, avocado, sunflower oil.
Is virgin olive oil?
That's for salad. olive oil is not good to cook. Why? Because the carcinogens in the body don't know how to break it down. That's why I was used for salad. Some people heat it up. I put that poster with all the oils, a certain temperature. It's just me. I'm so disciplined. But me is like, no.
Right.
It's real simple because I feel better that way. Like I said, and I experiment every day. I started off with the Gardenian, the vegan products in the stores, but then I study every day. So I do my own mushroom burgers. I do my own black bean burgers. So with me, like the average male, they like cars. That's toys for them. The kitchen utensils is toys for me. 2 hand blenders. I got a juicer, mixer, this, that. That's me.
Right.
Everything is in the kitchen because I feel happy when I cook. Because you stand outside like this, you happy, you get in there, now you want an appetizer. You don't even know the chef's name. You don't know his name.
And it's so funny on that point because, I've spoken to other people and, you go to a Christmas party at work and then they say, well, did you try Charlene's mac? I don't know her. I don't eat from everybody's kitchen. But then you go out to the restaurant, like you say, you don't even know the chef's name or even if he even washed his hands.
And not only that, you come in, sit down, crowded. You waited 30 minutes for a seat. So you order, you get an appetizer, you happy. He might have got a text that upset him. Right. So now he doing this when he cooking your meal. The energy is transformed.
Exactly.
So he cooking your meal, bitch.
Ain't no love in that meal.
And this is what you consuming.
Right.
And then where they hurt people at is because America started, in the States here, they started gravitating toward the South with the Cajun and all the seasonings. So now they're going to give you rotten meat and seasoning, so you don't know that it's old. In the 80s, when I was hustling, I used to go to Jackson Hole's in Midtown Manhattan for the 7-ounce burgers. That's when I was a pescatarian. I used to walk in there, the kitchen, look, that grill ain't been used yet, make my tuna melt. I was a pescatarian. Make mine on there. That's how it was back then. I didn't just go on there, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
That's what people don't understand. So you got to know what you do. I don't go out now. If I go to a vegan restaurant, to me it's like cheat meal because I don't know what the chef is using. So before I go out of my house, I'll eat 2 or 3 meals. So I know I'm not hungry in the street because I know. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, I'm not denying you, but I don't know what you're using. I know me. I got basil oil, truffle oil, grapeseed oil. This is what I use. If I decide to use that. I use oyster mushrooms, like king oyster mushrooms. That's like scallions. That's like scallops. That's what I use for my chicken. Oyster mushroom, that's the next texture closer to chicken. And that's why I was saying when the girl said that about the apple pie the other day, prove it. I see her, and I showed it to her. I said, I know. How I know is because my baking ain't that good. So I study that harder than anything. So I know that the spelt flour, the garbanzo flour. So you got to learn these things. Cashew, when you make cheese, you use cashew coconut. So when you study, it's just people got to read. That saying that was said decades ago, reading is fundamental, plays a major role today.
Always. And, we're coming towards the end of the show, but, as you can tell, this is the topic that we could branch off into many other different subtopics and talk about.
We're going to bring you back a whole lot of people. We got, you going, like I said, we both on Instagram, the brother. You go on IG.
Let them know what your
King
name.
B True 372 on Instagram. You can go there, and if you go on my page and you're serious about this, I have so many people. I have a lady, Coco June. She's out of the Bronx, 163rd and Kelly. They have a farm. So I have people on my page that's here that have farms, and you can learn. Like I have people that I've met that I've never even seen again. I met one girl 4 or 5 years ago. 8 months later, she put on IG, yo, thank you. She became vegan. I never even seen her again.
So, that's definitely what we wanted to touch on. I think we're going to do another show.
Of course.
We might even... the producer Chris wanted you to make a meal and bring some tonight.
I didn't bring the juice.
Forgot.
I made juices this morning. I forgot. I made it for you this morning. I did frozen strawberries. I had 2 frozen bananas, the baby ones. I do the burrow, and I put oatmeal in it, raw oats. 4 medjool dates. I put my seed mass. I put my hemp seeds, chia seeds, whole flax seeds. I put a cashew milk. I put my ginger, my cinnamon, and I put blue agave. And that's what I do to blend and even my water is alkaline water. I don't use regular water. And I blended that. That's my breakfast. I had that today. And since then, I haven't had nothing. And I did that 8:30 this morning.
That sounds amazing. with all those ingredients in it. So we definitely going to have to do a segment with you in the kitchen,
Of course,
chefing something up.
Of course, we're gonna do another segment. I'm gonna come down here. You know, even if you bought them, you already know. You right across the street from me. You could bring them to the crib. Mm-hmm. We could do a segment where I show you. You know what I'm saying? I haven't did my kitchen yet because it's not completely done, but that's what we do. So we can do that. Incorporate this. Like I said, I got other people, and I just want y'all to understand. We not forcing nobody. We just respecting and we trying to teach you, and not even trying to take that out the vocabulary. We want you to understand that we're here to save. It's our civil duty. We're not selling no products. We're here to save. You could come to me and get a meal. I don't charge nobody.
You heard it first here on The Conversation. Thank you again, my brother
Thanks.
Born,
No, we do,
for
baby.
being here. I appreciate you.
No, we do.
We're definitely going to come back with some more segments. This is such a important and relevant topic for us to touch
It is
upon.
because high blood pressure, this is diabetes month. And before we end this topic, let me tell y'all something. I haven't even did it yet. 6 years ago, I met her. She was 200 pounds heavier, taking 14 different pills, type 2 diabetic. Today, the doctor told her a month ago, you don't have diabetes no more. She's down to 4 pills. That's my baby.
That's
right.
Congratulations, man.
In 70 months. From 14 pills, she's down to 3. Don't even have diabetes no more.
So you see the impact of what healthy eating and a healthy lifestyle can do for you. So definitely tune in. Thank you, everyone, again for joining me for the conversation for this topic. Very important topic. For my man, Born True. Follow him. You can follow me on Instagram, Legacy Star with 2 R's. Always follow Mr. 13th. And also Made for Kings TV.
Please, Made for Kings TV. Please follow us.
Also, next week, we will not be having a show for the conversation. Taking a little break, going to work on some things behind the scenes and come back with an even more fantastic show the following week. So we will be off next week, but back again the following week. So definitely stay tuned.
He don't want to tell you he might be in the spot with me.
We'll see.
At one of these functions. You know, I got so many functions.
We're going to work it out. We're going to work it out.
So we're going to be together. But like you said, we'll be back and come back to you. And please support us because we're here to help.
Yes, sir.
You know, we're not here to do nothing but expand and, you know, help the unity, help the vicinity, help the community. That's what we do, man.
That's it. We're here. It's The Conversation. Thank you, everyone. Have a good night.